student body Cosas is threatening to shut down private schools in Gauteng. The Basic Education Department has postponed the reopening of both public and private schools due to rising COVID-19 cases. But Solidarity has warned the government's minister to withdraw her directive on independent schools. The union says she has no right to tell private schools when to close or open. Tshegohaco Moagi is covering the story for us. She is in Roodepoort at the Charter House School over there. When your mic was open, Tshegohaco, I could hear them talking about racist school in the background. I mean, is this more, has this more to do with other issues than just the safety of teachers? Because surely if those schools say that they are safe and the teachers are safe.
Well, Jane, their main issue is they do not want for any school, including independent schools, to actually open until the 15th of February. We do know that that is when all public schools are expected to open, but we understand that independent schools, private schools, will be opening on the 1st of February. But to give us details about how they will be responding to protests such as these, I'm joined by Steve Mabona from the Gauteng Department of Education. Steve, thank you so much for your time. Just give us details about protests such as these outside schools, private schools, when we know that most private schools are closed anyway until next week.
Well, we find ourselves in this situation because of some of the behavior of our colleagues in the independent and private school sector. Because you'll understand that before the Gazette was actually publicized, some of the schools were operating. We're receiving information from parents to say some of your schools are in operation, and we said to them through a communique coming from the HOD to say you are encouraged not to operate, or to rather delay, because you see that infections are increasing at that time. So after that we thought that some of them they will stop, but subsequently we then had a Gazette. So with the Gazette it's quite clear, no one really must operate. We just need to make sure that we confine to what the law says, and we don't need to operate. So we want to encourage further. I mean, this is only the week that they need to not to do anything. You know that the Gazette allows them to operate from the 1st of February. We all need to toe the line and make sure that we don't actually find ourselves where we're going to encourage people to come to our school and want to close them, because now we're saying we're delaying the movement of people. Now, if we find ourselves in this situation, we're encouraging people to come in our schools in numbers, and it becomes a challenge for us.
Now, this does, we do know that private schools are opening next week on the 1st, public schools are opening on the 15th, and there has been a lot of debate around the inequality, so to speak, then in our education system, something that some of these Cosas members are also speaking about.
Well, remember, private education is allowed in this country. I mean, we are in a democratic country that is allowed, but we also need to try to balance. But you'll understand that as the department, where in our level, we implement policy that has been actually crafted and is drafted by the national. So we are implementers, and if national has decided to say this is how we're going to be moving, as the Gauteng, we need to toe the line. But remember, before even the Gazette, as Gauteng, we said no. We're not going to allow people to endanger the lives of our children. We went before the Gazette. We went to one school, Help Mekar, and said, Help Mekar, we can't bring over 1,000 children in your school without a Gazette. And we encouraged Kuro. Without a Gazette, they realized that, look, we need to delay. So the Gazette came at a later stage. But we are saying, as Gauteng, we always encourage the independent and private schools that we are in charge of education, not of private or public, education. So that's what we need to do, and make sure that we are comfortable, we confine to the laws of the country, and discourage any unpalatable, actions that are going to bring us in this kind of situation.
Thank you so much, Steve Mabona. He's, of course, with the Gauteng Department of Education. And within the next hour, Jane, I will be having a conversation with Cosas just to hear clearer their grievances at this stage.
All right, thanks for that, Tshegohaco.